everywhere I go. Tell the world, tell them. Yeah, I'm a billboard. Tell the world, tell them. Broadcasting like a radio. Tell the world you ought to know. I'm brand new.
I know one thing's true. I don't even really deserve to know you, but I'm a witness that you did this, and I'm brand new. So I'm ready to go, and I'ma tell the world what they need to know. A slave to myself, but you let me go. I tried getting high, but it left me low. You did what they could never do.
Right, we are back live right now online. So listen.
Yes.
Welcome back to part 2. Do us a favor, for those of y'all that are online, go ahead and hit the share button. If you are close to stage row, just pop on in, right? We got a few more moments and a few more questions that we're about to tackle, and we've even had some since we've been in the building. But before we go forward, I want to let you know we have 2 tables here, and we got Fit Rich Life, which is the holidays table.
Yes.
Yeah, so we want y'all to go patronize them before you leave out the door today. They have apparel for men and women. And for those of y'all that love to work out, go grab some apparel. And it's so nice, even if you don't work out. You just want some comfortable athletic wear, just go over there. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't work out that often. But I got a few little outfits, apparel. And then I have a table as well right there at the Kim Crockett Experience.
Yes.
So go over there to that table. We have hoodies, we have sweatshirts, and we have long sleeve tees, and they're all new designs. So go over there. One of the designs says, I wish a demon would. I wish a demon would. And one of the other shirts says, which one? Because I got it from my lit crew. They told me which one to choose. Oh, the only business I mind is God's and mine. Yeah. The only business I mind is God's and mine, right? And even if we don't have your size, we can take your order, and you will have your items within 3 to 5 business days. If you are local, if you're online, about 5 business days, and I get it out to you. Okay, we ready?
And I wanted to, real quick, and I want to shout out too. So we have a 5-time author in the house tonight.
Yes.
Andrea Hardaway. And so she's selling some of her books. She's selling some of her books over at the Fit Rich Life table. So you can come and grab you something that will enrich the mind too.
Yes.
That's it, y'all. We got something for everybody. And let me say this too. They didn't say this, but I know for sure that Fit Rich Life and Kim Crockett Experience, you can order online as well. So if you're online tonight, after tonight's Let's Talk, you can go to their websites. We'll make sure we put it in the descriptions tonight so you all will go back and shop with them, okay? And you will get your stuff. It's not like some people you order and you may or may not get it. You don't got to call and ask, when am I going to get my stuff? Is this going to come? Hey, man, it's going to be good quality stuff. So, y'all, I'm telling you, you all will love it. But, y'all, let's get back into this session. Let's talk. I know we're going to do it again because it's too good not to do it again.
Amen.
So, the second part, we're going to talk about some stuff for singles. I know we got a single question they just got sent through just now.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
All right, and y'all listen, do not be afraid to ask your questions if you are here. Put them in the comment section if you're online. And so listen, let's talk about it. So this question that was just submitted in since we've been here says, what should godly dating look like today? What should godly dating look like today? I think that's important to say today.
Yeah, today.
Somebody on the panel want to start off with the answer?
Like, I ain't dated in so long.
But I always got something to say.
So let's phrase it like this. Those of you who are single and dating, how has that scene looked? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not. It don't look good. Okay.
Trashy.
Okay. I see a lot of head shaking saying, "No, this ain't it."
Somebody take the mic from Temple, because we live, Temple.
You said we're going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So define
It's
trashy.
It's pee in the pool, as Felicia would say.
So I'm gonna ask this right here. So being that there is so much to unpack when it comes to dating now in today's atmosphere. There is a lot of negativeness, a lot of negativity when it comes to dating on both sides, men and women. I see it on both. I see people post all the time, there ain't no good men out here. There ain't no good woman out here. All they want is your money. Ain't no man going to take care of me. It's like so much negative just post about dating that I'm like, my gosh, is it that bad? And so I started asking myself questions like, okay, well, if the man is saying one thing and then a woman is saying the same thing, then somebody lying.
They not lying.
We're missing communication. The people don't know how to communicate. But as to that question, I just put a crack in my mouth. I apologize for the people out there in the world. Like when they say what does godly dating look like? Were they more specific? Like was it anything in particular?
No, this is what I guess they don't know what it looks like. You see.
It has
well, the
looks.
question seems okay. To ask the question again, what does godly dating look like? What they're doing is asking us, could you show us or tell us what you think a godly date looks like? So it's not so. Okay, I'll give my honest answer. I would be honest and say this. I know it may sound old fashioned, y'all.
Netflix and chill.
There you go.
Netflix and
Hello, there you go.
That. You don't want to put yourself in predicaments. That you can't handle. But as far as me, it's been communication. The men want to text everything, or they just don't have any communication. Yeah. That's my answer.
So I would say, of course, I always say that dating is for information and revelation, not fornication. So you want to set up environments where you can get information. You can get information and you can get revelation around who that person is. And so, that can be the park. That can be y'all go to whatever, Seize the Clay and make a little plate for your house. That can be, different spaces where it's quiet enough where you can really talk and have a meaningful conversation. I don't think it's great to start off going to the movies together at the very beginning because you got to sit there and be quiet the entire time.
That's good.
And you really want to be at a space where you can take the person to a couple different environments, maybe do something outdoors once, change your scenery, make sure that you find out, what they like, what are their passions, what are their interests. I wouldn't come in on the first date, are you saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost? Like that ain't, that's not how you start out. But if you start out, do you have siblings? Where did you grow up at? You kind of get people talking. Then you find out what kind of household they grew up in. Well, did they have a dad at home or not at home? And if they didn't have a dad in their home growing up, that may give you you may have a little bit more grace for maybe some of what they say in conversation, because now you have some perspective on, okay, I understand where they come from, because none of us come from perfect backgrounds either. All of us think, a lot of us think our household was the best household and we had the best parents and we had the best this, and that's all fine and wonderful, but to somebody, that wasn't the right way to raise you, because the way that I squeezed the toothpaste wasn't the way that Kenny learned how to squeeze the toothpaste from his parents, and things aggravate you. But, you get in a space where you can talk, you can learn about that person's background, their passions, their interests, their goals in life, and you kind of start there. And then as you get to, maybe I want to see this person 2-3 months in a row, it may be time to kind of start talking about, where do you worship at? And then you kind of find out, are they just telling you they go to such church, but they don't even remember the pastor's name because they ain't been there, they ain't been to church in 8 years, the things like that.
Well, I just want to say that I think the flip side of that is what does godly dating look like now? Is that question is because the way that we present godly dating is the same way that worldly dating looks like now. And so that is the whole reason that question is even posed, because you can't tell the difference anymore. You can't tell the difference in what's godly dating was, because they do want to Netflix and chill.
Ooh, that's good.
They do want to do everything that they're doing in the world. And I said, I don't know what we were on, but I said that when we were doing the pre for the broadcast, that a lot of the stuff that I hear, I have to wake. I'm not woke apparently, and I thought I was.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was, but it is, and when I said earlier about the people who, the guys at work who don't want any type of commitment or anything, a lot of them are saved, but they have options, and so even the church guys have options. And so when something is presented to them, I know that we can go to and just go hang out and make some little pottery and stuff. Tanisha took me to one of these things once, y'all. Yeah, she did. And I mean, we got it. We got a huge platter with our name on it, and got all of the kids' names and all. It's nice, bro. It's nice. I didn't want to go. But I didn't want to go. I don't do that. Let's go shoot some basketball. We can go to the gym together. However, I will go because I'll go because this is what you want to do. This is something that we can do together. However, now when we talk about godly dating, now it just does not look the same. And I know, Pastor Kim, you said you might be old-fashioned. But there's some foundational things that we just cannot get away from.
Come on.
There's some things we just cannot get away from. Some things may look different in 2022, but there's some foundational things. There are still some do's and don'ts that we shouldn't be doing. But everything seems to be a do now. And so I think that the question is being asked because the godly and the worldly look the same.
Looking the same, merging. I think that was so good. I agree with both of us. I could have made it on in the building. He had just typed online. I wish I could be there in person and showed on up. But listen, y'all, when I said I think it may be a little old-fashioned to me, I mean to some people, because I believe, I'm a stickler for this. I'm going to say this till I take my last breath. I believe that before you go out with anybody, you need to ask God first. I know it may sound old-fashioned, but I'm telling you, you need to ask God first because you won't waste your time. Who got time to waste? Like, I'm so serious. And then the enemy is so tricky. They can come with everything you think you like. Everything you think you like. You get down in that relationship, and then months later, you like, God, everything I thought I knew about this person, I did not know. And then God like, well, you never even asked me, should you go out with him? You did it on your own. And so I really feel like that, men and women should literally, men, can I come down your row, single men, or men that have not found their wife yet. Before you start taking them to roof, Chris, God, listen, I'm just being honest. Is this the one I need to be taking out? Really, because men get done wrong a lot. I got 3 brothers that are not married yet, and they be telling me, Kim, these women ain't like they was back in your day. That's what they be telling me, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, really? It's like, I don't know. So but we could say that on both sides. What the women picking, what the men picking. So I would like to ask, can a panel ask a question? I got a question for those of y'all that's out here in the live audience and that's online too. Men too. This for the men too. How do you know if you like, God, I want a wife, or I want to start dating? How do y'all know the difference between a godly person or not? Since we saying this starting to merge and blend, I mean, literally, how could, so for the men in the house, if you like, that's what I want a woman that is, a classy woman that's going to save herself, or, even if you don't want that, you just like, I know men, I'm going to be honest, they may not want to for their flesh, but they want it to be like, man, this girl hot to get, they want to, yeah. So what I'm saying is, how do y'all know the difference that are out there in the dating scene? How can you say like, oh, they godly or they not?
Their actions.
Come on, can you clarify what their action is, for example?
I mean, you can only fake for so long. I mean, I feel like you have to be attentive on both ends. Mm-hmm. You have to, observe, like, it would be in their, just like yourself, it would be in your everyday actions. I'm not saying they have to be perfect, but it's just going to be in their actions, the way they walk, the way they talk. I mean, it's going to be that we both trying to do right. So it may be a time where he may be like, we gotta not be in this situation. And then it may be that time where she may be the same way. So I just feel like it's gonna be in your walk, in your talk, in your action, your everyday.
I was gonna say one day one of my best friends, I ain't gonna call which best friend, but they in the room. But anyway, one of my best friends was a bishop tried to holler at her, and the bishop tried to get in bed quicker than the men in the street. I'm just being honest. So what I'm saying is, sometimes we look and say, "Oh, well, he a bishop, he a pastor, she a missionary, she an evangelist," and then it's like, baby, you better look beyond that title and you better ask God.
And it wasn't in his actions.
See, I ain't say which best friend.
It was me. You know, it was me.
So I was gonna say this too.
It wasn't in his actions, in his words, it wasn't in his walk.
I was gonna say this too. What I see is from what I see with my own eyes is that there are so many angry singles on both sides because so many people have been hurt. You got women that have been hurt in relationships, men that have been hurt in relationships, and what happens is rather than them moving forward from the anger, they're taking that anger and they're making it out as every woman is like this or every man is like this. So when you start describing what you went through and when you go out on a date and the first sign you see of something that reminds you of a old relationship, it's done. It's like, but no, is that doesn't mean that is not a good man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, there are some good men out here who don't even know how good they are because they didn't have that. They didn't have the option, or they didn't have the availability for somebody to teach them how to be a good man,
or to pull that thing out of them.
Or to pull that thing out of them. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there can be, like I say this to Kim all the time, that if Kim had married me how she saw me then, she probably never walked down the aisle. I didn't have a lot of nothing, right? And there was lots of I couldn't do, right? But I can do now. And see, sometimes we give up so quickly on both sides. We give up so quickly on the man, give up so quickly on a woman, and then you say, ain't no man out here, ain't no woman out here, ain't no man. It's like, no, they're out here, but no one wants to say, I don't like getting text messages. Can you call me? Are you available right now? I don't want to do that. And say that but I'm saying, and also too, you got to be careful how you say things, because sometimes you say, if a guy texts you and say, good morning, you could have picked the phone up, but good morning. That right there, now he's like, dog, you could have just said, good morning, are you available to talk? Versus already acknowledging what you don't like first, then saying, going into the conversation.
Because remember, if you eventually go into the altar, you got to die. Mm-hmm. Some of your preferences, some of what you, just like Kenny said, he didn't want to go make pottery with me sometimes early on. I didn't want to go shoot the people on the little military game at Dave & Buster's. But I was in there at Dave & Buster's with the rifle on a video game. Like, this finna be my man. And if he went to the pottery thing with me, then I'm at the Dave & Buster thing with him. And so sometimes it's just, if you enjoy that person, it may not be your favorite thing to do, but you'll give it a try. And the point you made, Pastor Terrence, is so good, because our wedding was so cheap. We had absolutely nothing. And people look at us now, it's like, oh, they go on international vacation and all of this stuff. But our family made all of our food. So that's how I can put the little charcuterie board and everything together for y'all. Everybody made a dish. Our cake came from Sam's. We had a garnishment right before we went into before we went into the marriage. It took like so much of what we were trying to save to get married. And so it's so many things that you can see as a distraction that will cause you to miss the potential. But what I did see is like, okay, he served somewhere at a church. We didn't go to the same church as me, but I knew he went, because I would sometimes ask him, oh, what your pastor preach about today? And he could kind of tell me something like, okay, he actually is getting up, going to church. And I was like, I respect that. He's a single man. Nobody's making him go. He doesn't, have somebody that's dragging him there, but he's doing it on his own accord. And then I knew, he took care of his daughter. And so I was like, okay, I have a son, so I can see that he's a good father. There's potential there. And so everything that he did, I didn't like it. It wasn't perfect. And just being honest, at one point in time, we broke up. Cause I was just like, you know, the way that you communicating, it's just not working for me. I don't know. Maybe we're not gelling. We're not seeing eye to eye. And so we were broken up for a few weeks, and we had some time to pray and think about it. And he made some adjustments, and I made some adjustments. And then, you know, he called me back and was like, hey, can we meet for dinner? And, you know, we sat down and met for dinner, and we had to come to agreement on some things that we disagreed about in the relationship. So at first he was like, you know, I ain't trying to hear what you saying. He wasn't trying to hear what I was saying on what we didn't like or the way that we felt things were going. And then when we had both had some time to pray and think about it, then he invited me to dinner. We came back to the table. He talked about the things that we had discussed before. He compromised a little, I compromised a little, and we came to a healthy agreement. But if I would have seen the way that he was, like Pastor Terrence was saying at the beginning, and same thing with me, because I came out of a relationship where somebody was controlling me. So I felt like I had to be overly independent. Like, I don't need you to do this for me. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I know what to do. So, you know, those were some things that we had to kind of work out, but it took some time. The other thing I was going to say was, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Sometimes I think we get so one-track mind into like, oh, I hope this gonna be the person. I hope this gonna be the person, because they saying all the right things. And that's what my husband was kind of alluding to a little bit earlier. But there's another gentleman, and I would go out on dates with him sometime at the same time that I would go out on dates with my husband, because I was godly dating. I wasn't sleeping with him. So if I went to the Grizzlies game with one person this week, and then a month later, you know, he took me somewhere else, I'm not cheating on him. We sometimes mix dating and courtship up. And then when we got to the point where, but we were both up front, and he was seeing another young lady, like he would take another young lady on dates too. And, you know, because it's for information and revelation about that person. And then when he got to the point where he was like, nah, this is who I want. I don't want you seeing no boy no more. He had that conversation with me. He was like, okay, I'm at the point now where I realize you are who I want, and I want us now to be exclusive, and I don't want us to be out in the dating pool anymore. And so he brought me a promise ring. It was my birthstone. He a G, yeah. He bought me a little promise ring. It was my birthstone, a garnet, little gemstone, and he was like, you know, this is my promise now that it's just you and I that are courting. And so then from there, we started having more intimate dates, and not intimate as in sex, because sex does not equate to intimacy or compatibility, because intimacy is into me, you see. So we started going to the gym together, because that's something that he really, you know, loves to do. We started doing things that I really, really love to do. So he can start to see me in my element. I can start to see him in his element. And then when we got to that courting phase, that's when we said, okay, we'll take each other around each other's parents now and see how their family is before we make this final decision. Do we really want to get married? Because if you got so many crazy people in your family, it's probably a good indication that you got a little crazy gene that just ain't popped up out on me yet. Yep. So, but yeah.
That's good. And I'm gonna just say one more thing, and I know we're gonna move on to the next one, but this is just a good question, because I hear this so much, and especially when you have people that you want to see married and want to be with somebody to be happy. What I have noticed from a male's perspective, and I have talked to many single guys about this, I tell them all the time, is that, man, you have got to do something different and not doing what everybody else is doing. So many times they go into dating somebody wanting to do the exact same thing that everybody else is doing. What's going to attract her to say, man, no one has ever done that for me? Right. And sometimes it's not even always about spending money. It's your gestures. It's your chivalry. And sometimes, you know, opening up a door, telling her, don't touch the door, I'm going to come around, I'll open it up for you. Sometimes a woman's like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to touch this door. You've already set the tone for her to know, he got me. You know what I'm saying? When you out, they know this is who I'm dating, this is who I'm with. And a lot of guys I see now, they walk in the mall, they girl over there, they walking, they on both on the telephone. You don't even know they even together. You know what I'm saying? Then a dude come up to her and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, man, that's my girl. He didn't know because y'all are so far apart. How do we know that y'all was even together because of that? And so we got to be very careful when you are showing those signs and then you're wasting your time with somebody who's not giving you the attention that you want. And then after 6 months in the year, now you're upset and you're frustrated. And then you bring that to the new relationship when week 2, he told you, I don't really just want you like that. But we forced it because maybe his looks or what his pockets can do or all those kind of things. And we find ourselves getting caught up in what he can do for us and not what he wants to do. There's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference when somebody can do something and when they want to do something. There's a lot of men out there who can buy you nice things, but he may not want to do it. He's just doing it because he wants to get something else out of you. But when a man wants to really give you something, you can best believe it doesn't come with nothing else behind it. It's like, look, I want you to have this because you deserve this, or I want you. They're gonna make it so you feel comfortable in it and around it.
I'm telling y'all, I read a quote the other day when you said that was good. He said, attention does not mean intention. And what he was saying is that just because a man seems like he's showing you attention, because it was a man that said it, does not mean his intentions is really to be with you. But we got a comment or a question over here. Okay, come on, ask in the microphone so the online viewers can hear too.
What's going on, everybody? It's really more of a comment because what they was talking about, one thing that is a real important thing is patience, because a lot of people don't have patience in relationships. They be trying to get everything done in 6 months, be trying to catch up and do I don't know what it is, and they be trying to like slow down. Like, you know, some men get left in the dust taking their time with women because they not moving fast enough. So that's just something I want to touch on, because a lot of people don't have patience. They just want to be trying to get all this going on before by the time you about to get open with them, then hey, she on to the next one, man. So yeah. Are they not moving fast enough, or are they not moving at all? Not a man moving.
Hold on. What? This was security come in.
Things of that nature.
Maybe keep a mic over there. We can bring a mic over there.
Yeah, a lot don't get a chance to get to know each other all the way, because it's like some spans of dating last about 3 to 4 months for some people. Like they hop and go like that. 3 or 4 months, you really ain't got to that point yet, you know, because everybody working, everybody got stuff going on. So, you know, it takes time for those things, but, you know, some people feel like they're not going nowhere with it. And it could be a communication thing, or it just could be a lack of patience. So it just really depends more so.
So then the question I would like to ask for those that are concerned, no, keep the mic. I like hearing male voices also other than the panel. What is impatience to men then? Like men that are wanting to pursue being in a relationship. What's impatient? Like you said they want to move quickly, they hasty. What's impatient? What does that look like?
So what it looks like, all right, so you know most times people are dating multiple people in one time, but some people may have like one that they focus on. So when it comes to something in that standpoint, what it would look like that if they kind of try to rush a relationship before you get to know them. You see what I'm saying? Like you or want to rush to do big things beforehand. Like some people may not be ready just to jump all into certain commitments and certain things at one time, and it, you know, it may just take an adjustment for that. But you know, if some people feel like they're getting rushed to be in a relationship so fast off the jump without taking their time to get to know somebody, you know, and really just prepare yourself to make that a part of your lifestyle, then yeah.
So are we saying like 5 months, 6 months, a year? You saying like to just be casually dating somebody? Is that a long time, or is that like impatient? Like if you dating somebody for a year. Yeah, now that okay. And they like, okay, you should know what you want by then, right?
Yeah, it's more than enough time.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're not talking about like, you know, years.
Nah, I ain't playing like that.
And I think, and what brother is saying is so good, but I think that happens because they was just kicking it. They wasn't dating. Because if we just kicking it together, I'm not really ever going deep. I'm not peeling back the layers of the onion. And what he's saying is so true, because the Bible says that desire without knowledge is not good. And a person with hasty feet misses his way. And so you trying to desire a big thing. You want to go on a cruise together, and I don't really know you like that. Then you do that as your boys' vacation or your girls' trip or whatever, but we don't really know each other like that, and you want to go to Roof Chris and stuff all the time, and it's like, we haven't made it. So now you got desire without knowledge, which the Bible said is not good. So once I know you and I get that knowledge, then I know if I want to take you and spend a half a paycheck or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, we also got to understand that some of the old ways, like Kenny was talking about, you know, they used to tell you, you know, slap your wife around a little bit. That'll keep her in line around the house. They was also taught, you know, in a previous generation that the man has to pay for everything. And that is so unrealistic. Yeah. When we're in a earthly economy where ground beef and eggs and milk is expensive, at some point, even if y'all just do Dutch, like each pay for your own, but I think that it is so unrealistic that every time, you know, you expecting him to buy, and then you don't want to go to at least CC's Pizza where it's $5. Like, I mean, come on. You want, you know, them to make that investment, but then they're not sure if it's gonna be for the long haul. And so if you want a partner eventually, you got to even go into dating and courting with a partnership mentality.
Yes.
Because I know a friend of mine that we close now, and for his birthday, he went to a Grizzly game, and he bought everything. I'm like, on your birthday, you went out and you spent all the money for your birthday. Oh yeah, what's wrong with that? I'm like, so for her birthday, you bought this. And when y'all go out, you bought this. And then on your birthday, you bought it too. I'm like, brother, somebody getting played. Because if she can't buy the popcorn, you know, and the drinks, I mean, I understand, you know, my thing is, and you also got to be conscious like this too, because you may be dating somebody that say, look, I can't afford to take you to a front row Grizzly game. But if you buy the tickets, I can at least help with the parking or something. Like we can, you know, and let me tell you something. That right there is how relationships are really built. Because there was places I'm like, well, you know, when we was dating, I couldn't really afford to do everything. So I would break it up and make it fun. Like I took Kim one time on her birthday to, what's that place, eat all the meat at?
Texas Day Brazil.
Texas Day Brazil, right? And we went there, and that's it. And then when I got paid again, we went to the movies. You know what I'm saying? But I say, look, I'm going to do the whole month. But that's because I couldn't do it all in one day. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I've heard
Did you tell him at the time that you told me? He said, baby, baby, I'm going to take you somewhere real nice in my budget. He said, everything going to be prepared fresh. They going to fix it for us and everything. I was like, oh, really? Where we going? Subway. So, but guess what?
You can't. They make it fresh right there. You get to pick what you want on it. They do. But I say that. Now, look.
So they do.
Let me tell you right here. The one thing that I'm gonna give the woman a look game real quickly about me, and guys, don't fight me on this one. But do you not know that a man will literally go all out for a woman that will work with him? Yeah. When I say listen, when I say work with, I'm not talking about listen. When I say work with him. When I say work with them, say for example, like I just said I did. I heard somebody say, so for my birthday, I'll be going to dinner. That's all I can afford this week. But it's a nice dinner. And then it's like, but next week I get paid, I'm gonna take you out somewhere else. And I'm gonna take, so it's like, but nowadays they like, nope, I wanna go to movies, I wanna go shopping, I wanna go out of town, I wanna get a ring, I wanna get a necklace. It's like, well, dog. Yes.
She said they want to BBL and go to Cabo.
Yeah. While we waiting on Felicia to get the mic so the people at home can hear her, I'll say this. It sounds like from the people in the audience, I don't know about the people on live, what pool are y'all at? Because when I grew up, we had Brush Creek Community Center pool. And it was like the dirty, nasty, just, you know, the one the city didn't keep up till they renovated it. Then you had the pool out there in like Raytown, Missouri. and it was nice. And we was like, Mama and them, take us out here to this pool. And so it's fish out there, but we need to make sure we at the right pool or the right pond. And so sometimes to get a godly man, we don't want to take the effort to commit ourselves to what a godly pool will look like. And so even if your church may not have a large singles ministry, because different churches kind of cater to different arenas of life, there's a church for everybody. You're not cheating on your church if you go to a singles ministry event of another church, and then you can maybe start meeting some people that are more like-minded like you, because hopefully if out of all of them in that singles ministry event, wherever they've gone as a group, bowling or whatever their little outing was, hopefully there's going to be somebody, if they're a part of singles ministry, that's going to have a godly approach towards dating. And so, you know, we can't expect that every person that see us at Walmart or saw us when we was coming out of work or whatever. Sometimes you got to go intentionally where the right fish are. And so I also want to kind of just throw that out there. Like, if you need to mingle with another singles ministry in another city where it might not even be that person at that singles ministry ends up being for you. They may have a friend that end up introducing y'all. It's just like Pastor Kim and Pastor Terrence